Hi, welcome to Life Coaching with Gail, psychic, intuitive, spiritual and practical subjects. And today we're going to do the cards for July. We use the tarot cards, and I've explained before they're no different to our everyday playing, gin rummy cards or snap cards. I have a thing to say about this month, and I'm sorry I've kind of lost my little groove moment, so we'll go back into this little groove moment. This month, if you find yourself deeply thinking about your life, deeply thinking about yourself, then you're pretty much on track. This is the month you look at who am I? What am I here for? What am I doing in my life? Is it making sense to me? Is it working out? Is it going the way I want it to go? We have been trained to think in a sort of a linear way, if you like. You study for a job that's going to pay you to be able to survive in a way you want to survive in the world. This is a month, and it's possibly happened before now, where you will question that, struggle with that, where your life's not working out, where it's maybe not flowing, and it's to get you to look deeper inside yourself. Your life is more than you think it is. If you are finding that you are not happy in a career that you have been in, if you have been if things have just gone wrong in that career for you, you are being given some very clear pointers. The pointers are that you're going in the wrong direction. It's as simple as that. Look at what you want so that you can go in the direction that you need and want to go in. You may be very, very good at your profession, but it's not feeding you, fulfilling you. If you are unhappy, then you're in the wrong profession. And call it the universe, call it your inner guidance, is trying to help you to find what that other is, what your true groove flow in life is. And it's something that comes from an inner sense of you. You have skills and abilities. These are inherent within you. You have trained skills that you have learned along the way. If you look now at how could I put those two together, how could that work for me in my life? This is what this month is all about. Inner reflection, self-evaluation, really looking at what fits for you, what feels good to you, what's working, what's in line with your thoughts, your feelings and your emotions. It's a really internal, introspective kind of look closely at yourself kind of month. Now we're going to have a little look at the tarot, and we'll have a little look and see what that says, to maybe help add to what I've already said, or different. I have no idea myself. So I'll show you the cards, and I promise to show you the cards this time. I keep forgetting. So we are thinking about July 2020 and what is coming up for you this month. July 2020, what is coming up for you this month? So the first card I have, and this is so interesting because as I drove over here this morning, this was the card I saw in front of my face. So call it what you will, but here is that card. The card is Temperance. And along with what I was just talking about, this is when you really don't expect quick results. If you're pushing, if you're forcing things and they're not happening, please stop, because you're wasting time actually. You're making and creating chaos in your life rather than harmony, which is what you're wanting. So this card says, establish acceptance, go with the flow, allow things to unfold in front of you. They will line up. This is a year of massive change. We have had world change. Now I'm just letting you know that this is change of you as a person, more in line with who you authentically are. And this month is a key month where you find that, discover that. Be curious about it. So, Temperance, take everything carefully and slowly. You are in a process of not knowing who you are, what you're doing, where life's taking you. The world doesn't even know, to be honest. So, very much a personal experience this month for you. You can find more freely who you are and discover things about yourself that you didn't know. It's like, who cares? This is about you and you. This isn't about you and what other people think about you. This isn't about what they expect of you. This month, sit and contemplate your navel. Look at who you are. Can you sit with yourself and look into yourself and go, hey, I'm okay? Because if you can do that, you're doing pretty good. And if you can actually do it further and go, well, actually, I like myself. I've got these bits to me that are weak, and I've got these bits to me that are a bit ugly, and those bits really helped me survive in life, because they really did. But all in all, I've got these other bits, and I've got these clever bits, and I've got these not so clever bits, and I've got these different kinds of awarenesses, intelligence, and all of that kind of stuff. And that's intrinsic of who you are as a person, a real person, an authentic being. We are coming into a time on the planet where your skills and your abilities are going to be so sorely needed that this is the time of self-discovery. And this leads you to your purpose. Purpose, we have that feeling, that motivation, that drive. There's got to be something, there's got to be something. What am I really here for? So now we've done the play life and play at life period of time. Now it's a slow process, and this is what Temperance says. This is slow. This is going to take time. You can expect yourself to maybe take 3 or more years before you actually truly discover the meaning, purpose, vocation of your life, if you haven't already been looking. If you've been looking, the process of other people's change is going to take a few years. So maybe not as long as that, but I'm just saying that because historically that can take about 3 years. So everything will happen and emerge and evolve for you. You don't actually have to go change your career. You don't have to do anything. Absolutely, if you know that you have some kind of inner motivation or calling to do something, definitely do that. You still will self-discover along the way and find true purpose in what you're doing along the way. So this is exciting, but it's like, I always use this analogy, like a lot of analogies. You were a caterpillar. Now you're in a chrysalis. You're hanging around. You don't know who you are because you're not the caterpillar anymore. You're green mush, because that's what's inside a chrysalis. But that green mush and what is happening to you is magical. And if you know this, the story of the monarch, the caterpillar, the chrysalis, and then the butterfly, you are becoming someone else through this process of transformation, and that is what this card is. This is the process of alchemy. In the old days, they turned lead to gold. This is the process of turning you from who you thought you were to who you truly are. So So let's have a little look and see what else is there in line for July. July. Right, so what else have we got in store for July? What else is coming up for July? Transitions can sometimes be difficult times. Now, this card doesn't look very pretty, but it is very much in line with what I've been talking about. The world before the pandemic, and the world we knew it before the pandemic, has changed permanently. We can't see all those permanent changes, and we're holding on to and grabbing hold of everything that was familiar, that was normal, and it's not kind of working for us. Things are not flowing and coming together, and if your life you are, that's brilliant. Life has changed, the world has changed, and this is what the card says. Let go of all those things in your life that did not work for you. Let go of any kind of hurts, pains, ideas that were not yours. Everything has to be your idea this month. If it's not your idea, you're not being authentic with who you are. So this is the ending of the way things were for you in your life, and the beginning and the promise of new things to come. It is saying that there is a new exciting life for you. There is a new you. And let go of who you thought you were, because now you will discover who you really are. So it's a good month to resolve situations, tie off loose ends, find some way to accept the past, to see how the past has made you, brought you this far, and just relax in knowing that there are some exciting new events and situations coming your way. Ideas, inspirations, emotions, everything. So now we'll have a look at one more card for July, and we will... So what practical things can you do this month? It's difficult because it's a very, very much about, can you trust yourself to make the decisions that you need to make the changes that you need to make. No one's pushing you to do it, but when you come to next month, there will be things that you will just put into action. You will just be wanting to do. This is the month to kind of just feel things, feel how you would like them to be, okay? So now we go to what else is there in July for us? I've got to show you the cards, sorry. So this is the Strength card. And this means that you have everything in your power to cope with any situation, to deal with any change or any finishing off process you need to do. This card basically says, go for it. There's no need to stop, wait, gather your wits about you even, or think, what am I going to do? Be you, be brave, be proud, and if there's something that you've always wanted to do, something you've always thought that you might like to do or that you could do, go for it. Like, really just look at how you can do that, because next month's the month you go for it. This just says you can't take on anything too big. You can't think, like this month, it's like you can do everything and anything. And if it's possible for you to think about it and to imagine it, it's 100% possible for you to be able to do this. So please kind of like formulate ideas, write down any thoughts that come to you about who you could imagine in your wildest dreams you'd like to be, in your inner self. You know, everybody thinks they know us. You know, nobody knows us. You know, they don't know the real you at all. So talk to the real you, sit with the real you, discover the real you this month, write down everything there is about you as you perceive yourself to be, because that is the true you that you can take out into the world. So on that note, we'll finish the cards for July. It's, as always, it's a generalised thing because there's many of you, and I hope that made sense to you. I have myself done this kind of review my whole life, this self-review, this review of life, this review of the universe, this meaning of life, that's what is the purpose, why am I here? I've done this since the time I was very, very little. I always talked to thin air, to a creator energy. For me, it was God, and I talked to God every day, all day, about everything and anything, and I would get answers and information. And I always looked for years and years and years for a title that would fit the work that I did, that I knew of myself at that time, and nothing ever fitted. And it was only in the last couple of years I put life coaching down, and it wasn't really that descriptive either, because it was a new term and it helped describe a lot of what I do, which is coaching people to have a better, more improved life, and that life's not what they think it is. However, there's more to it than that, and it is of a universal kind of nature and a scientific nature. But I always bring science in when I'm trying to explain something to someone. Everything about the psychic, intuitive, and spiritual world can be explained in science now, in the quantum science aspects, and I've said this before. So I have found, as of last night, this came to me, a title. I am a noetic scientist. I have studied through life noetic sciences, or noetic science, sorry, is more precise. So that is the title that just fits with me. In simple terms, it is where science meets spirituality. There is a lot more to that. I could maybe explain that a little bit, but Mr. Google explains it very, very well. So if you have any curiosity about that, please have a little look and see what there is there. Now, I just wanted to also please let you know that I am contactable. I am contactable via video messenger. I am on Skype and phone, and one-on-one sessions as well that I do. I work in many different areas. Past lives is one of the ones that I find the most powerful for helping to explain what is happening in this situation with this person in this life, that explains it. And I've said this before, once you know what happened previously, then you can understand exactly what's happening right now. And when you understand it, things change. And the magic of it, which is what I'm all about, because the science meets spirituality, creates this magic, is that the other person and the other people, without them even knowing you've been seeing someone like me, giving you a past life or taking you into a past life, those other people change. And it's one of those unexplainable things. Their attitude towards you changes. Their responses to you change. The dynamic of the situation changes. And depending on your what you take from the session and how you respond to that determines better outcomes or brilliant outcomes. So just want you to know there is power in your life. You have things that you can control, that you can create, that you can change, that you can improve. If you are not happy, and I think happy isn't like yay, yay, ha, ha, that's great. I mean, happiness is more of a bliss. Happiness is more of a feeling that all is well in the world and that all is well with you. That sense of well-being, and that is happiness. And being happy to be alive. When was the last time you felt happy to be alive? So I invite you to come and see me if you like, or video message me, or however you want to do. My cell phone is 027 4166 545 or 844 7531. This is Radio Kidnappers, and the show is on every 2 weeks, and at the beginning of every month we do the cards, and halfway through the month we talk about a different subject or something else that is of meaning or it comes of relevance. I tend to channel things that just come through, and today I had a lot coming through before I came, so when I came, I'm sorry, we had a little bit of a glitch. Now, I do have occasionally as well special guests on the show, and I do have one coming up in the next month or so that I invite you to watch. She is amazing. She is a lady who is a future forward thinker, I would say. I would describe her as. Her skills and her abilities are much needed on the planet. And one thing I would just share with you, if you are older, please don't think your life is done. You actually are one of the special ones. You are one of the ones who were the mould breakers in your time. You were the changers of the world, actually, through, the flower power, peace, revolution kind of stuff. You broke the mould and brought music and life into the world. You have the old values. You have special qualities, gifts, an appreciation that's seeming to be drifting away and becoming more lost. So the essence of happiness and life is being kind of lost a little along the way as well. So if you are older, I promise you, particularly if your life has changed in any way over the last 10, 15, 20 years, that you are here to give something specific to the world and something special. And I invite you this month to look inside yourself and to look to see what that might be. What do you do that you enjoy? On that note, see you again next month.